Howdy, welcome to the channel. Today I thought I would bring you back out into the garden. It has been about a month since I have done an update because we've had rain going on here and just busy life in general. And I wanted you to see just how much this garden has exploded with the rain over the last month. Look at this. It looks glorious. Starting back in row 1, bed 1, we have our wonderful lettuce here. This is green leaf lettuce and it is looking amazing. I am going to be harvesting this tonight before I go to bed because we have a heat wave coming up into the upper 90s and lower hundreds, and it's not going to last through that. It's going to bolt and it'd go to waste. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest it while I can and put it in the refrigerator wash so we can make some salads over the next few days. These are our green beans and they look amazing. They did kind of outgrow my peas back here, so these pea plants are kind of stunted and they haven't produced anything yet, but that's okay. I didn't have that much germination on those, so no big deal. I will probably pull those as well because of the heat. They're not gonna make it. Our volunteer, I think this is a cantaloupe by the leaves. I have it water falling off the side of the bed so that any fruits go this way and don't take up the space of my green beans. Our tomato that is a volunteer is looking great, and I need to trellis up this other one as well. It is out from under the green beans and it is starting to look amazing. And the green beans look great out here. I'm gonna be starting to harvest some of those over the coming days as well. Row 1, bed 3, we have more of our beans. These are the burgundy beans and a volunteer tomato here. I had 3 iceberg lettuce that germinated and they're looking really nice so far. Hopefully they'll make it through this heat wave. And in the front, I planted some romaine lettuce seeds and they have germinated and are starting to look really nice. Hopefully they'll make it through this heat wave. I've got a couple more over here that are even bigger. And I've got some in the middle too. They're getting shaded by the beans, but hopefully that'll serve them well with the heat. And then in the back on the trellis, we have our peas and they're looking amazing. I've got some that are ready to be harvested now. Here in row 2, bed 1, we have more green beans, and as you can see, they're growing beautifully. Our cucumbers have started growing up taller and they're starting to trellis their way up the back. And the beans are actually shading our romaine lettuce first crop here. And I'm gonna be harvesting most of this as well today because it's gonna bolt. I will leave a few to see if they make it, but I don't think they're gonna make it through the heat. In row 2, bed 2, we have a couple of volunteer cilantro plants that are doing nicely. We're gonna be able to start harvesting some leaves from that soon. Around it are some Roma tomatoes, yet another cantaloupe that has volunteered itself and trellising everywhere. I've tried to make most of it go along as ground cover, so hopefully that will help with the tomatoes. In the back of the bed, we have some cherry tomatoes that I transplanted in and I'm trellising up there. For row 2, bed 3, we have our purple basil on the left and it's looking great. I've thinned it out quite a bit. We've had a little bit of bug damage, but that's good. That means they're eating those and not the tomatoes. We have our Roma tomatoes. We have the green basil in amongst the front and around on the other side. In the back, we have some cherry tomatoes trellising up, and one of those flowers wound up being a sunflower, so we're letting it go to give shade as it gets hot here. The other flowers that were in this bed were something we didn't want to keep, so I pulled them up as soon as I knew what they were. In row 3, bed 1, we have that volunteer melon that is cascading down over here. We have our tomatoes over here. This one's a volunteer. We'll see what that is, but these are our purple Cherokee that are growing beautifully. Our lettuce in the front that again I'm gonna harvest because it's not gonna make it much longer, with peppers here. That'll give the peppers a little bit more space anyway. Looks like we still have one of the Jimmy Nardello. And then down on the other end, we have our other volunteer tomato, as well as tomatillos, which have started blooming lately, and I have been hand pollinating those. Because I found when I first grew them, they weren't pollinating. So I found out what to do is just rub each of the flowers, making sure to come back to the original and pollinating around as they have bloomed. And that pollinates your flowers for you, just in case. And then you'll have gobs of tomatillos. I don't know why my pollinators weren't doing it. If they can't, I'm not sure what was going on, but to get the fruit to grow, that's what I wound up doing. And it doesn't take much time at all as long as you keep on top of it. Row 3, bed 2, I have some more Roma tomatoes here that are looking beautiful. I've got a couple of cherry tomatoes in the back that germinated that are trellising, and I came over to this bed and made a spot for some more of that romaine lettuce, and I've got a couple of them that have germinated. Hopefully some more will pop up soon too. I bought some jalapeno plants from Lowe's the other day, and so later in this video I'm going to plant a couple of those over here to fill in this spot where no bell peppers germinated. Row 3, bed 3, I'm going to plant a couple more of the jalapenos from Lowe's here. I've got some more of the romaine lettuce that I planted here, and these will help give them some shade. Hopefully they'll last a little bit longer through this heat wave. Roma tomatoes in the middle with a cilantro plant down at the end. Some kind of volunteer tomato plant here in the middle that looks beautiful. Got some cherry tomatoes I transplanted back there to fill in some gaps, and we've got another melon volunteer back there. They're everywhere. Coming into row 4, bed 1, we have a bunch of carrots here that are looking amazing. They're getting nice and bushy. They're making their own shade and keeping out weed pressure. The one potato that I left is doing great, and my cucumbers are all the way to the top now, and they're actually growing fruit now. They're looking great. Bees are all over the place today. They are having a heyday pollinating, and it is great to see. For row 4, bed 2, this is where I had planted my okra, and it was getting pressure. They're still alive. They're kind of hiding back here. I'll show you. And starting to look a little better, but they were getting pressure from fire ants, and so that kind of stunted their growth. I came in here and I planted some radishes. As you can see, those exploded, and they're kind of shading out, but hopefully that'll give those okra a chance to recover. If not, I'll replant once I pull these radishes out. They should do great in the heat. And then in the back, of course, we've got some more cucumbers for pickling. Bees everywhere, got fruit going. They're looking amazing. For row 4, bed 3, we have yet another cantaloupe volunteer over here by our volunteer tomatoes that are looking great. Our Swiss chard has exploded, and you can see it's the rainbow, so we got pinks and yellows and all kinds of pretty colors in there. Another volunteer melon there. And our tomato here. My greens have been getting pressure from worms, so I need to spray them with BT, but my pak choi, some of them are looking great. Some of them I need to pull off some old leaves. Same thing with my kale, but at least they're not getting to my other stuff, so I'll take the hit there. My spinach looks amazing, and our large red cherry tomatoes, I think those are in the back, are looking great. They're really, I thinned them out and transplanted elsewhere. Where I talked about transplanting, those are the ones I did, and they are looking great. And over here on the side, we have fennel that, if you remember, it's the first time I've grown this, and it is a foot tall, I would say, foot and a half, and just looking really, really healthy. Row 5, bed 1 is our carrots with the one Morning Glory volunteer that's starting to take off. And again, the canopy of those carrots is nice and lush. It's gonna help with the weed pressure. I come in periodically and pick out anything that's in there, but it's gonna be starting to maintain itself on that aspect going forward. Row 5, blackberry bed has been taking off, as you can see, and we've got several bunches of berries growing. And we're still getting some flowers in. I transplanted this new bush here. I got that before I knew we were going to get some up from the roots in this empty spot, but it has transplanted nicely and it's got new growth on it. And this thorned one also has flowers on it and is coming back nicely. Morning Glory have exploded. They've wilted a bit in the sun, so I've got the water going to them today. They should perk right back up. And our volunteer tomato in the middle of that patch has gotten really tall. For row 6, our grape arbor, I've trimmed it back this year to thin out some of the extraneous branches that were there. But you can see that the fruit that we have is plumping up very nicely. And as for the herbs that are on this bed, the rosemary, after I pruned it way back, is coming back with lots of fresh green. And we have some English lavender that looks like it is germinating, but nothing of the Roman chamomile yet. I've got some more seeds to plant some more of that, so hopefully we'll get some this year. This bed has my chives. I have a bunch that I've left from when I planted them that are still really thick, because I broke apart the one to the left and transplanted out some fresh ones to make sure that they were going to take off. They're looking fabulous. They've got lots of new growth on them. So I will probably thin this one out this fall, truthfully. With the heat that's coming, I don't want to stress these out, but I will probably take care of these this fall. In the next bed here, I have some volunteer dill that came up on its own, with the one in the back looking just stunning. And I even have some over here in this pot that I haven't even freshened up, so I need to put some topsoil on it and give it some nutrients. The rest of this bed is parsley and dill that I actually planted, but they're all looking great. Doesn't look like the tarragon came up, but that's okay. I can plant something else there. Over here in this bed, we have yet more volunteer dill with, it looks like a cilantro that is a volunteer. And beside that is our big sage that we've had for a couple of years in here now. I need to harvest it too. In this bed, I have a bunch of cilantro that has come up, and it looks like my lemon balm has finally germinated, and possibly some oregano, but I'll keep an eye on that. That's really tiny and hard to tell at this point. This lemon tree is flowering now. This lemon tree has been getting its leaves back. Unfortunately, something got our lemon that was on here. We're thinking it was a squirrel that was in the area, but we do have a couple still left on it that hopefully we will get to harvest later this year. Over here under our trees, we have parsley here, cilantro here, basil here, a few weeds coming in, and supposed to be spearmint over here, but I haven't seen any germinate yet. Probably have to do a replanting. So to transplant these jalapenos, you need to dig a pretty decent hole because you want to bury all of what's in this cup. Break that up a bit. You want to be very careful with the root ball. You can break it up just a smidge, but you don't want to be super rough on it if you can help it because it'll shock the plant. I'm going to do that and let some of that soil go back in. Cover it up. And then you want to press down firmly to get rid of any air pockets that are around the roots, because the roots need to be able to touch the soil to get their nutrients and such from it. Hopefully this one will start straightening up. And peppers are interesting. They enjoy having their plants fairly close together because it's almost like hugging friends, almost like a rugby thing where they have their arms around each other to help support each other. So I'm going to plant this one really close so that they can do that. All right, let's get those other two planted and then we'll water them in. We're gonna do the same thing here, plant them side by side to fill in this empty spot. All right, let me go get the water hose and get them watered in, and we will be all set. I'm gonna water these low so that I hopefully don't get many of the leaves wet because it is the afternoon here and I don't want these leaves burnt, but they do need water. They will transplant so much better if you give them a good drink right afterwards. While I'm here, I'll give these Romas a little drink. There we go. Well, there you have it, guys. This is what our garden is looking like on May the 11th this year. It is looking fantastic and has blown away my expectations with how late we got it started. And I'm just thrilled with what we've got going here. As you can see, everything is just looking wonderful overall. Things that are not doing great, that happens. You just treat it and you move on. But it looks great and have been enjoying what we've gleaned from it so far. So far we've gotten some lettuce, we've gotten some cilantro, and we've used up some of the fresh basil. And it's just been fabulous coming out here and shopping from our own little miniature grocery store. Hopefully you enjoyed joining me in the garden today to check up on it and see how it's doing. And it encourages you to try growing something where you are. Have a blessed day.